thank you. I'm going to invite you to come together as a whole group now, please. So I explained earlier the whole notion of inclusion, which has to do with the name game. What we've done with these last two exercises is that the most important feature of any team has to do with cohesion. And the most significant contribution that each of us as team members can contribute to that cohesion has to do with congruence. Is the inside of me and the outside of me consistent? Is it congruent? And that will affect our sense of safety, inclusion, and trust. So we move very carefully, and we would never work with a team without speaking to leaders and some of the frontline staff to get a sense of what we do. And there's no teams that we've worked with that ever are alike. And we tailor the work that we do with the teams, because there are some very strong teams that want to get stronger. There are teams that after we ask them and they say they never meet, we would say to them, you're not a team. You're a group of adults working together. So we try to get people to appreciate and understand the honesty and the truth of who they are in their working relationship. So the reason we started with successful is because likely you felt more comfortable speaking about success than you would about challenge to your colleagues or to strangers perhaps. So that the practice is safety, inclusion, and trust. So we want you to feel safe enough to talk about the story of success. And then perhaps you could speak more safely about the story of challenge. And we would also be very aware that all of us, apart from the process that we're involved in, we have trigger points. And we may not fully understand them. We have trigger points that often take us back to our family of origin. So there are other exercises we would insert in all of this to get people to understand and appreciate what other triggers they might bring to the team and other triggers they might also bring to the bedside. And so we actually ask people, how was anger expressed in your home? How was sadness expressed in your home? How about joy and happiness? Because people that grew up in homes where joy and happiness weren't fully present often are challenged to praise other people. And another leadership piece is one of the best gifts you can give your employees is to praise them truthfully. And if you've grown up in a family where you were shy on getting that kind of praise, it might be a challenge. So those are the other complexities that we begin to visit when we work with teams. So actually, we're not going to do the next exercise. I'm going to tell you about it, and then we're going to skip one, and we'll go to the next one. The next exercise we would invite a team to do is to now write and I'm not asking you to do this, write 3 to 5 words that describe the team you're on right now. So as we're working with the teams, and you know what? We would only do this because we don't always know the safety in a team. We would get them to write the word on a 3x5 card and give the card to us because the teams might feel so uncomfortable, so unsafe, that they can't even be totally honest with each other because they've been ridiculed, they haven't been respected, they feel dismissed, whatever. And our sense is to just get the truth out. So the next exercise would be, we'd hand out 3x5 cards and we'd say, give us 3 to 5 words that describe as graphically as you can, as honestly as you can, words that describe the team that you're on right now. We would collect those cards and then begin to write them on big sheets of paper so people can, when we say, here you are, and we'd scramble them so people can look at groups of 3 and begin to identify who wrote them. So here's the mirror. This is the team you're on. What are you aware of inside yourself as you see your team? How does this compare to the teams that we had you explore in terms of the most successful team or one of the most successful teams you've been on? How does it compare to some of the challenging teams you've on? Is this actually one of the more challenging teams you've on? We'd get people to begin to reflect about what is the honesty about their relationship with their peers, with their colleagues. And that's the hard part. Then the next exercise, and I am going to invite you to do this exercise, is to each of you, there should be enough cards on your table for each of you to get 3 cards. And what I want you to do, one item per card, write, in terms of what you've heard, what you feel, what you'd like, if you were on an ideal team, what are the 3 essential ingredients that you would want or expect to be to define that team? One item per card. So I'm going to just invite you to do that.